Hey, what's going on, guys? It is your boy Hobo here today, and it is finally here this Sunday. It is Super Bowl Sunday. The New England Patriots taking on the Atlanta Falcons. It will be live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time from NRG Stadium in Houston, Texans. This one's going to be a doozy between the high-powered Atlanta Falcons offense and the lockdown New England Patriots defense. But of course, let's take a look here at the Patriots offense. They are an equally explosive group, if you would like to think of it that way. A lot of people don't, but the fact that the Patriots have brought in these no-name wide receivers and turned them into perennial all-pros, it's a masterful job that they've done. However, the Patriots, where they lack in their offense, they make up for in strides on defense. They are the number one total defense, I believe, in football. They take the ball away more than any team has all season long. It's going to be a fun matchup, especially against the big play offense of the Atlanta Falcons. They've got guys, frankly, that you might have never heard of before, like Taylor Gabriel or Mohamed Sanu. And of course, they have Julio Jones, who is going to need to have a pretty decently big game here in the Super Bowl if the Falcons want to win. Falcons defense, on the other hand, they play exceptionally well. They play some really good football all year. They've been really good. Just look at the game against the Seahawks. Look at that game where the Falcons dominated the Seahawks all night long, held on to I believe it was a 13-point lead, and put them away in order to get to the NFC Championship, where they locked down Aaron Rodgers, and they did that for a full 4 quarters. And no team in this entire postseason has been able to touch Aaron Rodgers, aside from the New York Giants, but that was only through a half of football, less than a half, really. And then he came out and threw for 400 yards or whatever it was. It's going to be a really fun game this Sunday, and I've got 3 key Super Bowl 51 matchups that I would like to discuss with you guys. And let's start off with number 1. This one's got to be obvious and on everyone's list. Patriots cornerback Malcolm Butler versus Falcons wide receiver Julio Jones. Here are my key points. In the 5 Falcon losses this season, Julio Jones averaged 7 catches, 125 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So the Patriots are going to need to keep Malcolm Butler on Julio in one-on-one, or else, I say, if the Pats decide to roll double coverage onto Julio Jones, that leads to the other explosive weapons for the Falcons coming alive, such as your Taylor Gabriels or your Mohamed Sanus, and Malcolm Butler's going to need to play some physical bump and run coverage, playing tight end Julio, creating lots of contact at the line of scrimmage. If he can do that, he should be able to limit Julio's big game potential, but it's only a matter of time with Julio Jones. Patriots defensive coordinator Matt Patricia will have guys in the right spot Sunday to disable the powerful Falcons offense. But will it work? It's going to be a fun matchup on Sunday, and you're going to be seeing it throughout the entire game. 100% sure the commentators are going to mention it at least a bajillion times. So get ready for Malcolm Butler versus Julio Jones. Next up, I've got Patriots running backs LeGarrette Blount and Dion Lewis versus Falcons middle linebacker Deion Jones. My key points are, since outside linebacker Vic Beasley is drawing so much attention from the Pats coaching staff on the offensive side, Dion Lewis will have to come in and wreck the run game for the Falcons. Blount is overrated, I believe, as a straight-up power runner, only needing to run for 1 yard on 12 of his 19 touchdowns this season. So in situations where Blount's strength comes into play, such as bowling past a defender on a long run, Jones will need to play a conservative game, because if he cannot bring LeGarrette Blount down immediately, he's going to have to buy time for rallying teammates to get there and make the tackle. However, when Dion Lewis is in, Jones needs to be able to stay with the shifty Lewis and limit his ability to use his shiftiness to his advantage. It's going to be a tough matchup for Deion Jones to be able to contain 2 completely contrasting running backs the whole night. But, on the opposite side, we can say the same thing about the Patriots. The Falcons do. They've got 2 explosive running backs the same way. They have Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman, and that's a double-headed beast over there for the Falcons. So really on both sides is going to be a tough matchup against the running backs, but I feel that the Patriots running backs have the slight edge over the Falcons linebackers, so that's why I'm going to give them the key matchup in this situation. My third and final key matchup here is the Patriots center David Andrews versus the Falcons defensive tackle Grady Jarrett. My key points here are the Falcons need to get pressure in Tom Brady's face without blitzing because Brady is excellent against the blitz. So Grady Jarrett is going to have to, at the very least, be able to push David Andrews right into the grill of Tom Brady. Or on the contrary, blow right past him and get directly to Brady. However, the Falcons will have a better chance of getting to Brady off the edge, as most teams typically do. But in instances where they can't, up the middle pressure is vital. Andrews is the weakest of all the pass blockers on the Patriots offensive line, and the Falcons are going to need to bully him to force Brady into rush throws that result in incompletions or interceptions. And that's a tough thing to do, but it's always easier to get pressure off the edges, especially with the people that the Falcons will have coming off the edge, such as Vic Beasley. But, you know, it's so tough, because if you can get that in-the-face pressure, you're 100% going to start forcing bad throws. Because Brady is not a scrambling quarterback. He is a guy who stands in the pocket and delivers throws. And it's going to be tough for the Patriots if their offensive line starts losing their ability to pass block. If they start, you know, getting a little bit, not necessarily, you know, what am I trying to say? If their offensive line gets unconfident in their ability to limit the Falcons' pass rush, it's going to be tough. It really will be. And that goes to key point 2. The run game and the pass game are going to have to work in strides together like a great, well-oiled machine if the Patriots want to win this game. They're going to need a run game and a pass game. I don't feel that's the same necessarily on the Falcons side. I think that if one or the other gets going, you're probably going to have a pretty good day if you're an Atlanta Falcons fan. However, I believe you're going to have a stronger day if your offensive wide receivers, if your wide receivers get going and not necessarily your running backs. So this is going to be a great matchup on Sunday. And, you know, just picking the game is the toughest part. It really is. You've got the number 1 total offense and the number 1 total defense. History shows that, you know, well, I don't know what history shows, but history does show that there is a certain pattern there. And I'm not necessarily one to, you know, buy into the whole history says thing, but you know, I got to go with the Atlanta Falcons this Sunday. I feel like overall they are the much more complete team. I feel like they don't lack particularly in one area. However, on the Patriots, you could say the exact same thing, and that's what makes this matchup so difficult to pick. The Patriots have explosive wide receivers, not necessarily tall wide receivers who can go up and high point the ball, such as your Julio Jones, but they certainly have some quick guys who can get around maybe your slower guys, or if you have a linebacker on them, which would be devastating. They can certainly blow past a middle line or a linebacker. The run games, they're going to be very critical in order to control the game, especially if it's late and one team's got a lead. You're going to have to control the clock, and if you can't run the ball, then good luck controlling the clock. You're going to give the opposing offense, which on either side is a great one, you're going to give that offense a good chance to go down and score and potentially win the game for their side. Such an even matchup. I love it. It's going to be probably the best game all season, I hope. You know, pretty much all my predictions for close games throughout the playoffs this year have been terribly, terribly wrong. We've had a lot of blowouts. And if the Super Bowl is one of them, then I'll eat my words and I'll come on here and I'll make another video telling you people about how I was wrong. But I expect this to be a moderately high-scoring game for these two teams. I'm going to give the final score anywhere for each team, anywhere between 20 to 35 points. And I know that that's kind of a wide margin, but it's certainly a doable margin. It's going to be a fun game. I'm excited. I'm super excited. Tom Brady, Matt Ryan, make sure you people watch this Sunday. It will be live 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, emanating, of course, like I said, from NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. This is going to be a great game. I'm excited. I know I've said that like 45 times now, but yeah, I cannot contain my excitement for this football game. I'm going to have so much fun watching it. I hope that you guys do as well. Make sure to leave a comment about your thoughts on who's going to win the game in the comment section below. Drop a like on this video if you enjoyed my analysis. And make sure to hit that subscribe button, because that is the #1 way to help the channel. And yeah, on a bit of a somber note, that's it for the NFL season, ladies and gentlemen. I've had a blast doing all these games with you guys. All 19 weeks of football. I think it's been 19, maybe 20. Whatever, I don't care. It's been real. It's been real fun. I've been wrong a lot. I've been right a lot. And I've just had an overall blast doing this with you, being able to, tell you guys how much I love the New York Giants and going into certain aspects about that, and just giving you my overall opinions. Some weeks I might have had a slight bias because, maybe I was a bit angry that something happened the week before. A lot of the Patriots games, I just wanted to see them lose, so I would go with the opposing team. Always with the Cowboys, I'd pretty much go with anybody else because no one likes the Cowboys. However, I was right. I was 2 for 2 in Cowboys games when they faced the New York Giants, which is fun. Yeah, and then the rest of my Giants predictions, I think I had the exact same record that the Giants did picking their games. I think I was 11-5 picking Giants games this season. So yeah, that's fun. If I kind of besmirched the name of your team throughout the season, maybe saying some negative things, I apologize. But next year, hopefully your team can get stronger. Maybe I'll give them a bit of a rub next year. I certainly hope for teams like the Packers that they're able to come back stronger and better and make a bit more of a push in the playoffs. Obviously, I hope that my New York Giants are going to come out firing next year. Maybe we get an offensive line for the first time ever. And maybe we start winning some more football games. I ain't saying more than 11, but hey, anything's possible in the NFL. Yeah, I kind of been rambling on, but this is my emotional send-off to the NFL season. It's been fun, and I might start doing WWE show reviews now that I have a bit more time on my hands. Doing these NFL predictions every week takes a lot for me to do it. I just don't sit there and load up the games and just say, oh, here's what's going to happen. I break down every game, no matter what. If it's Browns versus Bears, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to break it down, at least in my mind, because I want to give the most authentic possible reality for you guys in scenarios for your teams. It's just a tough thing to do, because these are all grown men. They all go out there and they play their hardest every week, and I feel like me being able to predict as many games as I have right thus far, it's a bit of an accomplishment because, like I said, it is very hard to sit here and pick games consistently every week. However, I don't think anybody in the world can predict every game for a whole season correctly, and that's why I kind of wish that I had the sports almanac from like 20 years, in the future, and I could tell you who's going to win the Super Bowl for the next 20 years. And if you get that reference, then that's awesome. But if you don't, whatever, don't need to. So yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. That's going to do it for this amazing NFL season. I couldn't be happier with the way that my team personally has played, and the way that we went out maybe wasn't the way I wanted it to go, but it was the way I felt that it needed to go, since, we kind of put ourselves in that hole, and we're going to come back. We're going to be a stronger team because of it, and I hope that a lot of you guys can say the same about your teams. Maybe you just barely missed the playoffs. Maybe you blew it entirely and didn't make it. But I feel like every team going into next year has a solid chance. And I'm talking even your Cleveland Browns and your Los Angeles Chargers and your Los Angeles Rams. I'm thinking that every single team has a wide open shot at making the playoffs next year. There's not a single team in the league that I would look at their roster and say, hey, they've got no chance of making it next year. I feel like every team, they're good. Every team is good in their own right. I feel like the Browns are going to come out and get more than 5 or 6 wins next year. These are my early 2017 predictions. No, I'll probably do that in a separate video later on down the line. But, yeah, like I said, that's going to do it for me, your boy Hobo. It's been fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed all of the 2016-2017 season the way that I have. And thank you guys for being along on the ride with me. I've gained a lot of subscribers through this whole ordeal, through these 20 or so weeks, whatever it's been. It's been fun, it's been real, and that's going to do it for me, your boy Hobo, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.